this. That should be better. Hello to Saturday Night Live. And yeah, I just want to say hello to everybody. Thank you for tuning in, watching this. I want to say thank you to everybody who likes my videos and watches my content and leaves comments and things like that. So it's amazing. It's fantastic. And it's been a week. It's been a real interesting week. Excuse me. I was coming home tonight and I had a bit of an encounter with somebody. Um, it was a strange one. Hello, how are you going? Please leave a comment down below if you're watching and let me know who you are and all that sort of stuff. Pretty cool. I was coming home. I crossed a bridge and I saw some lights, coloured lights from a nearby property. And as I approached the lights disappeared. So I walked backwards so I could see the lights again, find out where it is locally. Thank you for the like as well. And there's a guy behind me I hadn't seen. And he sidestepped around me and I just said, oh, sorry, don't worry about it, mate. And so I walked back across the bridge and try to figure out where these lights are coming from. And so I discover it, figure out where it was. The guy walked over the bridge, around the corner, right? Okay. And I didn't think anything of it, right? So he comes back and starts staring at me. I'm thinking, yeah, like whatever, right? So I just keep going. And then he walks off, right? And I head towards the lights, and the lights were coming from inside somebody's window. And I didn't want to pry or spy on people or whatever. I just want to know what the lights were. And so the guy then comes back again. So he starts staring at me. And whew, he like really starts staring at me. Anyway, so I'm looking the um, over the fence, and I can see that's like a display on somebody's a wall, a massive display, and it's multicolored lights, and I got no idea what it is at the time. And I thought, okay, so I see this thing, and I just turn and keep walking. Anyway, the guy's watching me, going, "Oi, oi, oi!" I'm thinking, no, it's Saturday night. It's like 8:30 at night. I just want to get home. I've seen some lights coming from somebody's lounge room, wanting to know what it was, and he's thinking I'm going to case the joint or goodness knows what he was on about. 4 people in here. Thank you very much. Please click like on the video. Hi there, Nixon. Matthews. So anyway, I'm yeah, and he starts calling out to me like because he's as if I'm going to turn around and walk towards this guy that's threatening me or whatever. And I just come home. I'm good, Nixon. How are you? It's currently Saturday night here, 11:35 p.m. here in Adelaide, South Australia. Hope you're doing well. And so anyway, I came home and had a shower, got changed, and then I thought, you know what? I'm going to wait a little bit, recharge my phone, and then I'm going to go back. So what I did was, thank you very much. I hope you also have an amazing day. So I came back, just went and checked out what the lights actually were. Like there's nobody around. I checked the lights, and it turns out it was and it was massive. It was on this guy's wall. It was just like an electronic like a LED version of like an analog clock, but then it had like information down the bottom. So it was like the day, the date, um, the temperature, and all this sort of stuff. This information was like rotating, and flashing, and stuff like that. Hi there, Sajid. How are you going? Thank you for tuning into the video. So I'm just recounting the stuff of what I've been up to during the week and things like that. And I'm not sure how long I'm going to be on, but I thought I'd give this a bit of a go. It's been a while since I've done live and things like that. Thank you for the likes and the hearts and things like that. It's really important to like the video and things like that. But yeah, I've been flyering and spruiking for shows at the Adelaide Fringe Festival this week. You saw a thumb. Hi there, Earth. How you going? So it's 5 people in here, 3 likes, which is cool. And yeah, so I've been flying for 4 shows at the Adelaide Fringe Festival, 2 different companies, and one of them was, so you got Charlie Caper Magic Show. No, Magical it's called. Yeah, Charlie Caper Magical, Ben Hart Up Close, which is another magic show. You've got Limbo, which is like a circus, and you've got La Ronde, which is also a circus. So I've been doing that a week and getting paid for it, thankfully. One of the, by there, Nixon. One of them won't pay me until after the event, but they pay me cash on the first day. So I just have to wait for that to come through. All the other employers that I've been talking about, some of them, like, they only pay every 2 weeks now, which means I have to be ultra frugal again, and things like that. But it's an annoyance, but I'm cashed up and I can start paying for paying bills and working on getting ahead, renewing my passport, but I might need to wait a couple of weeks on that one, possibly even a month. We'll see how we go. These things aren't cheap anymore, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. I also had lessons from a spruiker, a promoter, and he's talking about doing movies and stuff. Hi there, Poetry Louise. How are you? What time is it where you are? It's 11:39 p.m. Saturday night here in Adelaide, South Australia. And I'm just talking about my time at the Adelaide Fringe Festival. It finishes tomorrow night. Today I was working at the football, the AFL football, with the Crows game, the Adelaide Crows. No, not Crows, it was Port Power. 9-10. Okay. So which state and or country are you in? Yeah, so it was the Port Power game. How many you got tied up in your basement? Well, not enough, Mr. Helliwell. Wow, charming. So it doesn't take much to do this sort of shit, right? You know, nasty, nasty, nasty. You know, all I did was ask people what the time was, where they were, what state they're in, what country they're in, and yeah, wow. You get caught a pedo. Strange, strange. 8 people in here. Thank you very much for watching. I don't tolerate personal attacks or abuse, and I don't think you should either. You know. So yeah, there was a spruiker, promoter. He said that he's working on like a movie, and he said there might be a part for me, so that'd be fairly interesting. But he taught me all sorts of tips and tricks and promotions and things like that. How to spruik, how to flyer. It's been pretty cool, and wow, it's interesting having to. It doesn't take much for. Isn't it funny how, if I was female, I'd have a different kind of abuse. Different kind of abuse. It's just predictable. You know, people do this thing, they want to attack. Often I find the people that call other people names are projecting. Um, you know, wow. But I want to say thank you to everybody who is actually watching, like decent people. And yeah, but it's been an interesting week. I've worked for several different employers, um, putting up and taking down different displays for functions and things. Thank you, Oscar. How are you going? Please consider subscribing and things like that. I am going to do more videos, walking and talking kind of videos. Those sorts of things seem to do really well when I'm set up at a desk, sitting and just explaining stuff. Thank you very much. I when I'm doing the sitting at a desk kind of explaining videos, they don't seem to do very well, but I think the problem with the last video is that I launched it at the wrong time. I should have waited until I knew people are, "Oh, that's cool." I'm not, and but I don't have a problem with anybody who is. Um, I hope that whatever your preferences happen to be, that you accept yourself, right? Self-acceptance is the most important thing in the world. I was speaking to a cleaner the other day. Yeah, no. Um, mm, 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 mm. Yeah, no. It's funny how it's Saturday night and all the weirdos come out. Yeah, but it's the same stuff. It's the same thing. It's like, I don't care. Why would you come out to somebody and say that you're gay or whatever? Like, that's fantastic. That's who you are. Be who you are. But how does that affect me? Um, and it's sort of, it's strange how it's always the same sort of mindset. Like, well, obviously they've got nothing better to do, like on a weekend, and yeah, I don't care. Um, like, there's so much stuff you could actually do with a YouTube channel. Not everybody is on the same playing field. I get that, but I was thinking just today, someone had highlighted this, that, well, like within their own lives, but about the connections you can make here on YouTube. And the funny thing was, I stopped and reflected on the fact that the majority of my friends, really good friends, are people that I initially met on YouTube, and you're one of them, Earth. And some people I've met in person, and others I obviously haven't. We haven't met in person, but like at either YouTube gatherings or I've met people who've just started subscribing to this channel, right? And yeah, and it does throw you off a little bit. I think that's what they want to do. They'll throw people off, and then I don't get it. Why start off? I mean, they start off pretending to be friends, friendly, and then but you can sort of tell the insincerity when they start. But anyway, like, the funny thing is, when you hide somebody from your channel, it doesn't unsubscribe them. So I picked, so for that, whoever that person was, they've given me subscribers, subscriber numbers, but they can't comment on my stuff, which is awesome.
But yeah, I've been working all sorts of places. Morphettville Racecourse, um, doing functions and things. I've been doing um, construction. I've been doing. Today I was just making pie floaters and making hot chips for the AFL game, the Port Power game at the Adelaide Oval, and nice sort of fairly easy shift. I thought would have been a lot more packed. We would have been flat out, but like we threw away like a whole heap of food, like pies and things, because I work in the Billy's um, pie shop. But yeah, it is funny sometimes when these trolls come in and do whatever it is that they're going to do, and it's funny how like they come in clusters, right? It's not just like the one person. It's usually like a couple. I had one troll, and every time I hit his account, he'd come back and just change the name, come back, come back, come back, come back, and said, "Oh, it's been the same person the whole time." Oh, okay, big deal. Um, and it's why is it always the same thing? Like calling somebody a pedo, or yeah, it's the short bus. Without being disrespectful to people who have disabilities and stuff like that, but um, yeah, it's the same mentality. It's like, and it's just really low IQ. It's like that they're obsessed with accusing other people of something that I think deep down they're sort of worried about. Like, I don't. When I came on here, I wasn't thinking anything in terms of like adult content, um, except for some of the shows that have been promoting. Some of them have like adult themes and things like that. But like, you know what I mean? I'm just here to recount my week and just relax and unwind, and I'm coffee making. That's fine. But you had time to type that, so that makes a difference. And I know that I'm not going to have like a huge audience on here, and it's funny how it's always gender based. I mentioned that obviously women would get like a different kind of harassment, and I don't know. Like I was a troll in my younger days, right? Um, just very angry, or not really angry, but I was never really an angry person. But there's a point where you do have the angry stage, and you just sort of lash out at the world, and the internet has like an anonymity, so like there's just no forethought to the trolling or anything like that. But then there is a point where you realize, oh, hang on, I can make a difference to somebody's life. You don't know how close they are to the edge, really. And you may hear that me say that in a few videos, if you do go back and watch my other videos. Um, but it only takes that little thing to improve somebody's day, right? To say hello, how you going? Like you've come in and to this live when um, everybody that's been in here has been a stranger. Now there's a few people that were like, "Oh hi, how are you going? I like your channel," but then it's like occasionally they'll say, "Oh, I like your channel. Oh, okay, that's great. Please, please consider subscribing." And then all the crazy stuff comes out, pretending to be gay. Okay, so a real gay person wouldn't say that. It's like a black person wouldn't highlight the fact that they're black unless it became an issue or there was an issue or something. They don't do that. Um, yeah. And but if I was female, I think I'd probably get like a whole heap of sexual harassment and stuff like that. I don't. It'd be interesting to set up a female account um, on different platforms and just see how long it took before the like misogyny started. It'd be fairly interesting, I think. Um, I would never ever want to really experience it or endorse it or um, promote it or anything like that. Because I have seen the opposite side of the internet. Like sometimes you do get a glimpse of what women have to put up with, and it's just like, oh my god. Like, yeah, men can be horrible, really. But I'll digress. Um, yes, I want to get my passport renewed, and I think the process is a lot easier if you, rather than having to go through the setting up stuff again. You just have to show them your expired passport and pay the amount. I think it's like $412, which is um, I've got the money, but I just want to wait and see until there's a few more pay packets coming through. So because like my financial situation is that the money's uncertain. At least with welfare, it's a small amount of money, or even the pension, but you know what it is. It's going to be the same amount of money, and then you can calculate how long it's going to take for you to save up a certain amount of money and budgeting and all that sort of stuff. It's a bit hard to budget when your money goes up and down. But yeah, um, yeah. So this is talking about how most of my friends, the really close ones, were people that I've met through YouTube. Now, some physically and in person, and others I'll never meet. Not because of any animosity, it's just the tyranny of distance. People living in America, um, people living all sorts of places, um, the UK, and that's why I want to get my passport, because I do want to visit a friend in the UK, but I also need to save up the money for the tickets and all the rest of it. But yeah, but it's also like there's the connections with people that they're slender threads. The people that you would never have met on the street, and the people that you would never meet um, outside of any other context than YouTube. So, for example, there's a woman named Jay who she's a black woman in Atlanta, Georgia, and she started watching my videos, right, leaving comments and things like that. I watch her videos, and now she was inspired to do YouTube through a woman named Dodash, and Dodash was her videos were about making money on doing DoorDash and Uber Eats and other food delivery services and stuff like that. And then a few people started to say, "Oh, by the way, she's a grifter," and I didn't want to believe that because she was nice to me, as most con men and con artists usually are. Um, they gain your confidence, and then they start asking for money and stuff. And recently, she started doing what was it? She's charging 25. She started off doing a course, right? So it was 19 US dollars for this PDF of like how to set up a channel, just really, really basic stuff. And then she started a second course, which was how to get like monetized, copyright free versions of um, popular songs. And I'm not sure how legit that is. I'd have to look that up. And then now she started charging. It was 20 US. I think it was $25 for a shout out, and then 200 US for a channel review, and then $1,000 for a one-on-one. And she'd been on YouTube for about 5 years, just doing these DoorDash videos, and then she went viral. Now, whether or not she bought her subscribers, I don't know, but she had like 70. She's up to around about 74,000 subscribers in the last few months, because she started to get popular, and then people started to critique her, and they started to do deep dives and digging into her past and what she was doing on Instagram. They got her real name. Not her location. Like I think she's in Texas somewhere, and but she claims to be somewhere else, and so she's grifting people, and people are starting to expose her and all this sort of stuff. And you start to look at like what she's doing now. Her videos are addictive because they're highly aggressive, motivational speaking kind of things. You can do it. You can get on YouTube. You can make all this money and all this sort of stuff, and it appeals to people who are marginalised, who are struggling. And that's the funny thing about poverty. Sometimes you are wary about where your money's coming in and where your money's going, so you're less likely to invest in people who are promising, wealth in the future, and you sort of become immune to a lot of scams and things because you don't have the money to invest in the first place. But then she's posting screenshots of, oh, this is how much money YouTube was paying me and stuff, and I was tracking her what she was saying on Social Blade, which is it's a site that you can track, I think, TikTok accounts, YouTube accounts, and I think Instagram as well. And I follow my own account on Social Blade so that I can see what's really going on. So YouTube will show some stuff, but Social Blade will show like a lot more. I'll show you various like future projections, and you can compare like your channels with other channels and stuff like that. So I prefer to compare it to sort of similar channels to see, am I growing, or comparing it to my older channels. Okay, am I making progress? Am I doing well? And one of the things I've learned, I'll digress here a little bit. One of the things I learned is that your presence matters. Like, you've got to stir the pot. You've got to be uploading. You've got to be giving it your all and all that sort of stuff. But you're going back to DoorDash. There's channels dedicated to just exposing her grift and what she's doing, and I'll analyze her speech patterns and stuff like this, and her body language, and but I'm not interested in exposing grifters and things on what I'm doing. I'm trying to provide as much value as I can and put Adelaide on the map, because apparently in America, when they hear about Australia, all they hear about is Sydney or Melbourne or like the other major capital cities and things like that. But then the rest of the perception is that that Australia's this massive desert, and it's like one of those countries in Africa that are drought stricken and all that sort of stuff. Now we have our droughts and whatnot, but this is why I show like a lot of stuff in the city. And I think one of my videos I've got to do is cleaning up misconceptions and talking about Australia and some of the questions that my subscribers have put in. And yeah, things like that. So now tomorrow morning, yeah, so that's how I met Jay, through Dodash. Jay is the woman from Atlanta, Georgia, and she wants to interview me, do like a 20 questions. There's a few people that are coming to Adelaide from either interstate or internationally, and they want to meet me in person and stuff like that. So these are interesting connections that happen with having a YouTube channel and just uploading content like regularly. You pick up an audience. It can take a while for the YouTube algorithm to sort of figure out who you should be promoting stuff to. It should be promoting content to. Um, I have two weird things. One is there are thousands upon thousands of people in Adelaide who have YouTube accounts. Right now, they might not upload video. They just like watching videos. They just like commenting, all that sort of stuff. And they will watch a tourist video of someone overseas experiencing Adelaide for the first time, and they're usually only in Adelaide for like 3 days, and they usually only talk about 4 or 5 locations, and it's the same tourist spots over and over again, right? They don't interview locals. They just go to a restaurant. They'll go to the wine regions. They'll go to the central markets, or they'll go to Chinatown, and stuff like that. So, and there's nothing wrong with those places. It's really good. But I prefer like a slower, ground level approach to what I'm doing, and so you can get to see what people are wearing. You see the pace at which they're walking. Um, you see the technology that we have, the cars that we drive, and stuff like that, right? So there's thousands of people watching that kind of stuff, whereas I'm struggling to get anywhere, make any traction on YouTube. And then there are people who with channels that are only like 3 or 4 months old, and they're rubbishing the the suburbs that are affected by lower socioeconomic status. So they back at your computer, cool. You can always go back and catch up with what I was dribbling on about. But there are channels here on YouTube in Adelaide rubbishing some of the poorer suburbs, the more notorious suburbs, and they get thousands upon thousands of views. And okay, cool. I wear hearing aids, and when I'm watching YouTube or listening to a podcast, the iPhone that I have, it's a second-hand iPhone that somebody gave me. It broadcasts to the headphones through Bluetooth, which is cool. But yeah, there's these people that are rubbishing suburbs and different areas. They get thousands upon thousands of subscribers and views and things like that, and they're exploiting drug addicts and alcoholics and homeless people. I don't really want to do stuff like that. I might highlight the fact that there are homeless people sleeping on the streets in Adelaide. It was a culture shock when I first saw it, because it never used to happen. There might have been like 1 or 2. Now there's like people on pretty much every corner trying to find sleep like during the day. It was one of those things that was hidden. I once went to Sydney for a Skepticon convention, and I was there to meet the guys behind. They were in the company that they're in is called Puzzle in a Thunderstorm, but it's the main guy is the Scathing Atheist, and then there's people in cognitive dissonance, which is these atheistic, skeptic-based podcasts. So I was there to meet them, but just going through Sydney and seeing like homeless people on the street corner, and they'd have cups. So they'd be in the middle of like a walkway, surrounded by people, really, really crowded. So I'm getting not really used to how big Sydney actually was. And they'd hold a cup with two hands above their head, right? And they just pray, pretty much make themselves as small as possible, and hope that people would put like coins in their cup as they walk past. And I just thought, that's terrible. Like, but that's a symptom of living in a big city. But now Adelaide's starting to become that way too. And I don't want to gloss over the darker aspects of Adelaide, but I don't want to highlight the fact that I don't want to sort of profit on the suffering of other people, if that makes sense. I think it's one thing to highlight where Adelaide has its issues. Professional beggars have been a curse for the German homeless in Sydney. I think these were genuine. Like they had missing limbs and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't know people's stories. Um, and yeah, there are grifters. But some people, like in Adelaide, you'll see them, and they're not necessarily begging. There are people that have put signs and saying, "Look, I'm homeless." Then you'll just see the people actually sleeping in doorways during the day. Um, so they're not actually begging for money, as in like they're not grifters in that sense. It's just like they're sleeping in a doorway. Um, Now you don't know whether that's mental health issues. Um, Obviously, it's structural stuff, economic stuff. Um, but you don't know whether they're going to be dangerous or there's drug use, that sort of stuff. So I have a bit of a dilemma. You sort of want to help everybody, but without enabling any other darker habits that they may have. But then, how do you get people back on their feet? Do these people want to get back on their feet and have somewhere safe to sleep and all that sort of stuff? It becomes quite complicated the moment you start interfering with or intruding in other people's lives and stuff like that. So I've got 5 people in here watching. Please leave a comment and like the video. If you are enjoying this, please contribute to the conversation, leave a comment and things like that. But yeah, it's a strange situation, and things are always changing, right? Things are always ever changing, economically and politically. Hello there, whoever came in. With like the politics in the United States, like I don't really want to do videos on YouTube about it. It's not really part of the niche or the flavor. But I'll do that sort of stuff on TikTok. I think TikTok's a better platform for that, because I've already got like an existing audience for that sort of thing. But so I could talk about like what the stuff that Elon Musk is doing. And there are people that are Elon Musk fanboys, and so I lost two people there. There are Elon Musk fanboys who they worship the ground that he works on, that he walks on, and there's a point where you realize that a lot of it's propaganda. Like if when you own when you have a lot of money and you own your own social media platform and things like that, you can direct um, or manipulate public perception. Yeah, but Elon Musk is a grifter from way back, and a lot of this stuff is starting to come out that like he's not very bright at all. He's just bought into various companies and then changed the name of them, flipped them, and like sold them for like massive profits, and then just moved on, right? Why would any intelligent person, right? If you bought Twitter, for example, why would you sack all of the essential security people? You know what I mean? Like, or the senior engineers and stuff like that. And they're using the same tactic with um, just pretty much every aspect of the United States now. So they're gutting like welfare. People are starting to wake up to the fact that um, they're starting to struggle. They can't get like access to welfare. They can't get Veterans Affairs kind of help. Um, they shut down the telehealth. So if you're disabled and you need to speak to a doctor, um, you will struggle. You will physically have to go to a medical centre now. Um, they're they're removing any reference to black people um, or gay people or anybody with a disability that's changed the course of human history for the better um, from government records, government websites. The classic was they removed any reference to the Enola Gay, the plane that dropped the bomb. I think I'm not sure which one it was. I think it might have been the first one. All because it had the word gay in the title. The Enola Gay, the famous plane that dropped the bomb. Crazy. But yeah, so like a lot of people aren't interested in US politics and stuff like that. But yeah, very, very interesting times. And yeah, I've been doing okay. Yeah, it's been weird. Like, I've been off welfare for the last, I think, halfway through April, it'll be 3 years off welfare, which is awesome. I did like your suggestion of at least getting a healthcare card. We'll see. I'm sure that would help. I just want to get this passport stuff sorted out first. It's just a pain in the bum not having like proper identification and stuff like that. The reason I talk about going to Chester in the UK is because there's work available, and but we'll see. But the funny thing was the one of the companies that I worked for in promoting stuff for the Adelaide Fringe is based in Manchester. So if I did get to Chester in the UK, I could like do flyering work or whatever during the various festivals and stuff like that. And it's a lot easier because their population is a lot
bigger than ours in a like a condensed space. So I think the UK's population is about 60 million. It's double ours, but in a very small area. It'll be interesting either way. And I find that networking is really good, especially here on YouTube. I did have to reflect on the fact that a lot of my friends are people that I've met here on YouTube. And yes, it's pretty cool. Oh, tomorrow I'm going up to Tea Tree Plaza and I'm going to be working with a guy, not physically working, but helping a Chinese guy practice his English. And because the funny thing is, I learnt heaps of stuff from him. Because when you're trying to convey something in English, you have to find either alternate words or you have to like, because we're working on the pronunciation of certain words. He goes, this is one word I've never been able to pronounce properly. I had someone teaching me English, but she'd given up on trying to teach me. And the word was town, Town, town. And I realised it was the owl sound. And then what he said was that in Asian languages, the mouth is fairly tight. Not tight, but like the the range of movement is a small area. So when you in English, when you go ow, you move your mouth. You open your mouth really wide. Town. So I try to get him to say town, just to practice on the owl sound. And in doing that, he goes, as he was doing it, he goes, it hurts my mouth a little bit because he's used to not opening his mouth wide. And I'm thinking, isn't that strange? It's strange that we take it for granted in English speakers that our mouths open up wider when we talk and pronounce the different vowel sounds. And then later on, a whole heap of words with that sound, like bow, when you take a bow, town, towel, shower, words like that all have that same sound, but you have to open your mouth to be able to pronounce them properly. So that'll be pretty cool. And then I continue doing flyering work tomorrow afternoon for the final night of the Adelaide Fringe Festival. So that'll be pretty cool. And yeah. Oh, and I picked up. So it will be 3 subscribers today with our YouTube channel, which is awesome. And what else? Yeah, things are just slowly starting to pick up. I can do a few things, and I've paid most of my bills. I've got another one coming up. Actually, there'll be 2 coming up next week. So I've still got to be frugal. So I've paid my rent, the post office box renewal because it's coming up. There's a few other things as well coming up. You've got to put money aside for, or at least just leave it where it is. But yeah, I hope everybody is enjoying their weekend. Please leave a comment down below if you're still watching this far. Just let me know you're still alive and all that sort of stuff. But feel free to contribute, and I'll probably leave in about just over 10 minutes, and so I can round this out to the hour. And hello, whoever came in, please leave a comment letting me know who you are. Click like on the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. But before you do, I only ask that you watch a few videos. So yeah, thank you to everybody that's still here. It's funny how like you ask people to subscribe or do anything, they freak out and then they leave. Yeah, like it depends on what you're doing. Like if you achieved what you set out to achieve, then it's a success, right? But there are fringe benefits, sort of like how many people have you met because of being on YouTube? How many people would you have met? How many people would you have not met if you hadn't done it? And that's something to consider as well. Like, yeah, Social Blade was the website. Um, it's a free service. You can pay for like premium and stuff like that. But I made them to exercise my brain in recovery from neurological stuff and a series of TIAs. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes we just need an outlet. I started podcasting because I knew I was being white-handed at the place that I was working, and I thought it was a way of being able to make money, like just have something in the background, right? And of course that didn't happen. But I mean, I did make a little bit of money through Patreon. I was only making like $5 an episode or whatever it was, but I wasn't being creative enough to generate money that would have helped me in any real way. But often it's not about money. Often it's about the connections you make, or to get an idea that's in your head out of your head and onto the screen, get it out of your mouth, say what you need to say. Because, I mean, obviously the stuff going on in politics and whatnot that needs to be spoken up against. A lot of people's lives are actually depending on the outcome of elections, and you think, how far have we gone wrong, where millions of people's lives are determined on the outcome of an election? And I mean physical lives. I'm not talking about like financial lives and things like that, which like can have an effect on people's lives, but like physical lives. But yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, and you meet people, get to make a few jokes, make people laugh. My last video is how to use YouTube to change your life. And I thought it'd be a video that would be interesting to a lot more people than it has so far turned out to be. And essentially, like, I tell a story where for the last couple of years I've been doing hospitality work, and in order to get that work, I had to learn new skills. So one of those skills is called 3-plate carry and 5-plate clear. Well, that's 2 skills. But and the other one was how to carry a drinks tray. Now, it might seem easy, but there's specific techniques that you need to know. But the company that is hiring me to do the hospitality work wanted me to submit a video of me doing the 3-plate carry and the 5-plate clear. And I think, well, what do I do here? Go to YouTube. I find an expert waiter, like professional waiter. He does it every day, and he tells you how to take, like, the etiquette of how to take plates off of a table, how to place the knives and forks and things like that, so you're not spilling everything everywhere. But also to how to do the 3-plate carry. But then he's doing stuff like, there are other like little soft skills where you talk to the chefs, you talk to the managers, so you find out what the dietaries are, you find out what the rundown is, you find out what the schedules are, you can find out all this information to make their job easier and the less things that they have to stress about, the better. And then you get more shifts, and you get a better reputation, and that improves your life. But I learnt new skills that way, and then just watching the videos is not enough. You physically have to do the actions. But the mental imagery of the YouTube video plus the physical action and getting paid for it reinforces the skill. It, like with 3-plate carry, you don't have the plate on your fingers, you have it behind your pinky finger, and then you put the secondary plate on your arm, and then you have to learn how to balance, and then you do the same thing on the other arm. But the funny thing is, the management are saying, like, 'cause they time you when they do take the plates out and stuff, and they're sort of saying, oh, this is too slow, we have to go back to two-plate carry, which is what you would instinctively do anyway. So it's faster to do it the natural way. And and I'm thinking, well, how much time is lost by people struggling with the 3-plate carry, and then they might drop a plate on like a client's lap, mashed potato down the front, that sort of stuff. Like, that's not going to happen if you do 2-plate carry. But there's other things as well that management are really funny about, and I'm starting to get really pissed off with the double standards with some of the places I work, and I will be talking about that in a future video. But yeah, I want to say thank you for those people that have stuck with me for nearly an hour. So there's 3 people in here now. Thank you very much. And those of you who liked the video, so there's 4 thumbs up. That's pretty cool. I just wanted to come on here and just unleash and let go of the week that I've just had, and onto bigger and better and more positive things for the week ahead. And yeah, I can start planning again. I've got a whole heap of projects that I need to sort out and complete before the end of the year. Not for any major reason other than I want to do them, and I want to be proud of the fact that I've accomplished something small, and then some of the other bigger things. So thank you for your conversation. Thank you very much, everybody who's watching this, and thank you very much for all the likes, all the views, and directing the course of the conversation. Oh, here's another interesting thing. Isn't it funny how all of the haters, right, they come in really early. If you do a live video, you get all the haters really, really early. And then when you find your core audience, the haters don't come in. Right? Once you get rid of them, it's just plain sailing from there on in. Incredible. Anyway, so that's my hour up. I just want to say thank you once again, and please go and watch the rest of the videos on my channel that you may have missed, and leave likes and comments and things like that. And I will catch you next time I go live and in the next video. That's all from me today. Look after yourselves. Bye for now. Happy weekend.